Gil Martin here, and welcome everybody to today's episode of the Daily Packers Post, where we bring you in-depth videos on the Packers every day, Monday through Friday. So hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Today, we concentrate on the return of Christian Watson to practice. And let's keep in mind that what happened on Monday was he resumed practicing, was designated for return, and that means that the Packers have a 3-week window to either activate him off the PUP list or put him on the season-ending injured reserve. Looks like he is close to being ready, but obviously he's going to need some ramp-up time. So having him back at practice, a very promising thing, but it doesn't necessarily mean that he'll be in the lineup Sunday when the Packers face the Cincinnati Bengals. And look, Watson is coming off a serious knee injury that required surgery. He suffered it last year in the season finale against the Bears. The old traditional time to recover from this and return was 10 months. Now it's more or less down to 9, and Watson has been, quote unquote, ahead of schedule for most of this recovery time. And look, when he's healthy, Watson gives the Packers their best deep threat downfield. He's got that rare combination of size and speed that forces defense to take notice. But over the course of his 3 seasons already in the league, this is his 4th year, injuries and a little bit of inconsistency have limited his production. Last year, kind of typical for Watson. He missed 2 complete games due to injury, was limited in a few others, and caught just 29 passes all year, but he averaged 21.4 yards per catch, which is a very impressive number. He had 2 games in 2024 of 100 yards or more, 150 yards in Week 11 against the Bears, and he followed that up 3 weeks later with a 114-yard effort against the Lions in Detroit in Week 14. And the other thing about Watson, the North Dakota State alum, only was credited with 2 drop passes all year. That's a drop percentage of 3.8. And you'll recall we've discussed on our videos before the difficulty that the Green Bay receivers last year had when it came to holding on to the football. Watson was not part of that problem last year. And look, throughout training camp and OTAs, he was with the rehab group on the sideline, working out on his own, did not participate in full practices, 11 on 11 drills, did not play in any of the preseason games. He was definitely eager to return as soon as possible, but was not ready for action, and that's why he started the season on the physically unable to perform or PUP list, and that meant he had to sit out a minimum of 4 games, and then he's eligible to return to practice. He sat out the 4 games. There was no practice during the bye week, and now Watson has rejoined the team. Now, he could still miss up to 3 more games and still be activated. We'll see what timetable the athletic training staff, the medical staff, and the coaching staff figure out as far as Watson is concerned and when exactly he'll return. But the potential impact of Christian Watson being back in the lineup is going to be big. Now, keep in mind, this will be a gradual ramp up. No doubt, the first time he's ready to play, he'll be on a play count. And probably the first 2 or 3 games, he'll see spot duty, but each week he should be available for more plays and to take on a bigger role, assuming he does not have a setback. So we know about the deep threat. That is the most obvious thing that Watson provides. Jordan Love loves to take a shot at splash plays to throw the ball down the field. Watson gives him the best possible option on this roster to accomplish those deep passes. And because defenses have to pay attention to Watson when he's on the field, that could open up things for guys like Tucker Kraft or Romeo Doubs on short or intermediate routes because the safety, if Watson's going deep, the safety is almost always going to go with Watson. That creates opportunities for other receivers on this roster. And another thing that Watson did last year, and the analytics bore this out, he was the Packers' best receiver at beating man coverage. Now, look, man coverage, you're not going to see that much of it, but when you do, Watson is the guy, and his return should give Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love another weapon against man-to-man coverage, and a more experienced one at that. The other player who I think will be impacted positively is first-round pick Matthew Golden. Golden will have less pressure, and I think Watson will draw attention away from Golden, and that should mean fewer double teams and more opportunities to get open and make catches for Matthew Golden. I think it'll definitely benefit him to have Watson on the field. And look, Coach Matt LaFleur, one thing he loves, wide receivers who can block. Watson not only has the size to get the blocking done, but he's a willing blocker. He's worked hard at his blocking. So running plays, screen passes, short, wide receiver screens, those quick out passes. He's a guy who can block and help the offense move. So that is something LaFleur and the coaching staff really likes. Now, on the downside, guys like Malik Heath and Dontavian Wicks will almost certainly see fewer reps once Watson takes on a bigger role in the offense, but we'll see how that goes. And look, it's not all going to happen at once. This is going to be a gradual process, but as the season progresses, assuming Watson stays healthy, getting a dangerous weapon like Christian Watson back in the lineup will definitely benefit the Green Bay offense. It's like getting an acquisition at the trade deadline without actually making a trade. So we'll keep an eye on Christian Watson in his return, but so far he's back at practice. That's the first step toward his eventual return to the lineup. Check out our website at thepackerspost.com for in-depth articles about your Green Bay Packers. We have new ones every day, Monday through Saturday, so check that out. Also, here on YouTube, hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss an episode of the Daily Packers Post. I'm Gil Martin. Have a great day, everybody. Stay safe, and of course, go Pack Go.